Hey there, this is Anne Marie and this is the Anti-HR channel, and here's a quick HR tip for those of you who are interviewing for new jobs. The signs of a hostile, toxic, and often discriminatory work environment are usually there during the interview process. You just have to pay attention. My cousin and I were having a chat today. We are both on a girls' trip together, and she mentioned to me that, she thought I should give an HR tip about this because she recently had an experience where she had interviewed for a job that seemed like a really great opportunity. She was heavily recruited for the job, but then when she went into the interview, it was very obvious to her that the person, one of the people that was interviewing her, who would have become her supervisor, did not like her and was threatened by her because she was more qualified than that person was, and obviously more qualified for their job than they were. And so the person spent a significant amount of time in the interview trying to discredit her, trying to question her credentials, and was pretty hostile. And for that reason, she decided to withdraw from consideration and was very clear about the reasons with the recruiter. And I gave her kudos for doing that because I told her, oftentimes the sign of a hostile, toxic work environment are very clear, and people are so pressed either for the prestige of the job title, the money, or both, that they go ahead and put themselves in that situation. And then 3 to 6 months in, they realize what they're dealing with, or even less time than that. And I gave her a lot of credit for not falling for it, not letting herself be hoodwinked, bamboozled, because of course, when she raised her concerns, the recruiter tried to get her to believe that what she knew was happening actually wasn't happening, right? So she listened to her inner voice and she decided that she was not interested in putting herself in a situation where a person who she was going to have to work with closely was clearly not going to want her to be there because they were threatened by the fact that she was clearly overqualified for the job she was being considered for and pretty much more qualified than that person for that job. And instead of that person appreciating having someone like that on their team, of course, they're threatened by it. And of course, this was another woman of color, right? So my quick tip for you is pay attention to the signs. The signs of a hostile, toxic, and often discriminatory work environment are usually there during the interview process, and you will see it if you are paying attention. Pay attention to those red flags, and if necessary, withdraw yourself from consideration. Just because someone wants to hire you doesn't mean that you need to accept the offer. And always remember that when you are being interviewed for a job, you should also be interviewing them. They're deciding whether they want to hire you. You should be deciding whether you want to work for them. So don't go in there and act like they're doing you a favor. Remember that you are bringing something to the table. You are bringing your knowledge, your skills, and abilities, and that is what they are paying for. Make sure they pay you right, and make sure you're going into an environment where they are going to treat you right. Okay? So pay attention to those red flags, and if necessary, remove yourself from consideration. Always remember, if they are not serving respect at the table, withdraw and remove yourself from the table. And if you can, get out of it before it even begins. You see the signs, remove yourself from consideration. That is always an option. I hope this is a great tip. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.